Hey, welcome to episode 112, although we don't mess with 12. Episode 112, We Made It podcast, back in the building. Caesar, go ahead and drop it.
Sensi Dozy.
I'm pretty sure you said that last week, but you know what I'm saying? We made a podcast.
Last week was Sensi Onzi.
Okay, all right. We made a podcast, episode 112, at We Made It Podcast on all social media. We Made It Podcast.com. Up in the top, you can get the links to all our social media.
Still here.
Mm-hmm.
Still going.
Mm-hmm.
They thought we're going to stop, but I never stop, like Future said.
Look, Caesar,
I ain't going to never stop.
Although, this is funny. So, although I did tweet this recently, we have uploaded every week, sometimes more than once a week.
Especially during World Cup.
Consistently for over 2 years. It's actually 25 months to the day, because it is June 25th, and we started on May 25th, 2017. So, 25 months we have been uploading every week, and sometimes more than one a week.
If that's love, I don't know what is.
Consistency.
If that's love, I don't know what is.
I thought. But we made it podcast.com. We made it podcast. Shout out to Dro the Gooner. Follow him on Twitter. Follow him. Subscribe to his YouTube page. He be going hard. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I listen to Dro stuff. I really love Dro's analysis.
Me too.
I don't even know how this is gonna sound right now. Like, I like my analysis the most, and then, like, I like yours second, like, when you're going hard.
You just said, I like
my analysis the most. Honestly, I do. Then his is also, like, I'm kind of joking, like, but it's, like, I can really, like, feel what he's saying. Like, he has really good analysis.
You know what I like about Joe, too? Like, he's actually, like, really knowledgeable. Like, and,
yeah,
like, he draws comparisons of, like, players from the past when he's talking about someone from today. I can really respect that. Like, that's someone who really knows their stuff, and that's why I like Joe's recap. So I was watching some of his Copa America ones too. So he goes,
yeah, no, Joe's dope. And then also check out Tiki Talker podcast. They just uploaded for the first time in a bit yesterday, talking about Women's World Cup. I haven't finished listening to the episode yet, but they're going hard too. Make sure you subscribe Tiki Talker podcast. And make sure you subscribe to We Made It Podcast. And make sure your mama subscribed, and your daddy, and your girlfriend, and your boyfriend, and your
just grab their phone and do
shorties, and then your friends, and then your cousins, and your second cousins, and your third cousins.
I don't want thirds.
And your preacher, or your rabbi, or your imam, and whoever.
Bible study teacher.
Everybody. Make sure they're subscribed to We Made It Podcast.
Your bus driver.
Worldwide. We just got our first download in Morocco. We're going to be talking about a lot of important stuff today. We're also going to be doing some really fake NBA analysis.
Excited.
And I got something else about that too that I didn't tell you yet, but it's going to be good. But Caesar, we got my favorite tournament going on, Copa America 2019. I've been watching plenty games. I did watch Uruguay versus Japan. It ended 2-2. I am not going to go through all the game, but you did watch that too, right? Yeah, because you were trying to hate on that penalty that Cavani won. Yeah, that was a penalty, sir.
Okay,
that was
light work.
Nah,
penalty.
that dog. Did you see? Cavani made contact with the ball and it followed through. That dude's stud was like, "Pow!" You know that hurt so much. Mm-hmm. Nah, you're not feeling it.
I like
Cavani's not a diver.
He's not,
but he'll die. He still will get it cracking.
I hope so. He'd be a pro.
Exactly. Thank you. A professional player gotta die,
sir. Like, you need to do this. We're trying to win. I know you got like this moral thing, but we're trying to win. We're trying to win chips here.
You gotta. If you can't dive off of no contact, but you can get it cracking. You can
sell a foul.
Bit. Absolutely. Thank you.
Sell a foul, please.
Caesar with the bar. If you're a professional, you gotta sell it.
You gotta sell it.
Yes, you gotta do it, bro.
Being tough doesn't win you rewards.
You don't get penalties for being tough.
I'll be more mad if you tried staying up when someone cleated you in the back of the penalty box and you going down for it.
I'll never forget Loic Remy when he was on Chelsea. He got fouled in the box and he stayed up. And I was like, yo, dog, what are you doing? He got fouled hard. Like, it was like if he would have just fallen down to be a penalty. And I remember Thomas Roggen saying, or maybe it was Gary Bailey, I can't remember,
You
saying
gotta
like,
go down.
"Yo, you got to go down."
That one time Chicharito did that on Real Madrid, and Ronaldo was like screaming at him
Yo, big facts.
because he was like trying to like really get that goal, and he like basically had someone like fall over his back, and he stayed up. Like,
No.
Ronaldo's like, you gotta lay flat.
Yes,
You
and
gotta go.
and cry.
Yeah. You gotta roll around like that time Marcelo he got shot.
Why are we bringing that up?
you were concerned. You're like, is he okay? You look like it was like you saw like your family member
I
injured.
feel bad because we're so off topic, but I would never forget it was Real Madrid versus PSG. Marcelo gets the foul, and he's holding his arm like this, like
I
it
thought it
just
was over.
Broke. He screams.
He did the Monier.
He screams so loud, I heard it through the TV. He's like, ah, ah, and he's playing. And like 30 seconds later, I never liked a Brazilian after that. I was like,
There was a cutoff.
I was like, I got issues with Caesar after Marcelo did that. Yeah, sorry, brother. Sorry. Anyway, Uruguay did draw Japan. Japan played really well in that game. I thought that they were gonna.
I thought they did a really good job changing their formation. They brought in Ozusaki. Is it Osaki from Leicester?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
He was really. It's not about him scoring. I thought his hold up play was really good.
Yeah.
He created dangerous opportunities. It was better than those two young guys they had in the game, but last one they looked a lot better.
Okasaki's is a bit more of a like trying to like do it. He's
more physical too.
Yeah, he basically missed all his chances for the most part, but like he was doing his thing though.
But sometimes like. That's like sometimes it's still good that his presence is there and he provides a different something to be worried about. He's missing, but the defense is worried though.
Yeah, for sure. Japan
didn't have hold up play last game. They had a hold up play this time.
Japan's first goal in 25th minute. It was unfortunate because like Zalda gotten hurt. He had pulled a hammy, like I don't know if he pulled a hammy, but he gotten hurt like in the kind of play before, and he didn't come off. And like that guy ran past him.
I remember that he like went he went down. I was like, oh yeah, he's hurt.
But then like he's kept playing, and that guy went past him, and he was like came off right after. It's like, dog, you kind of cost.
You got to get out.
You got to come down.
Yeah.
You got to come out.
That was like very like young man shit.
Yeah,
right
I mean you understand. Like you want to see if you can kind of
but like you got he got ate up right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Muslera kind of could have and should have saved that because it was near post, but anyway, the game ended 2-2. Obviously, Japan is out of the Copa America. We're gonna get into some quarterfinal previews in a little bit. Caesar, we did have also the game where I was never gone harder for a Middle Eastern team in my life. Argentina versus Qatar.
Oh yeah, I was going hard too.
The only reason is because Messi said that they're not contending for the title. So I'm like, well then I want you out of there. Argentina did end up winning 2-0. Lautaro Martinez. He scored in the 4th minute. I did. Oh, that was that play coming out the back. That dude like passed it right to him. I was like, investigate that. What's up with Argentina getting these hookups in these games where they can go out? What's up with that? Ecuador 2006, 17, 16 or whatever, and the last game of the qualifiers, and also this daggone play, he kicked it right to him.
Deep YouTube Bam over here.
I was like, what's the deal, yo?
Yeah, but I think it was just like that Sergio. That's Kun Aguero goal was just like that Kun Aguero goal to me in the second half
in 82nd minute. Sleep.
That was like the most like hey like that guy's really good, and then you guys are just like not at that level. Like he just kind of showed how world class he is. I'm like, damn. I was like, well, he's really fucking good. Like you can't even teach you how to stop that. You can't stop it. Like it's just too much.
In the 42nd minute, I put like, okay, that Lo Celso yellow might mean that Dybala might get his first minutes in the third game of the tournament. He did. He came on the 76th minute. I
didn't even recognize him out there.
He's the one that gave that pass to Kun Aguero when Kun Aguero ran down and scored that goal
from the midfield. So I didn't see it.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't
past two people.
Yeah, it wasn't like an assist, but he's the one that got it to him.
He probably walking around saying he got the assist though.
They might have gave it to him.
Yo, y'all saw the pass I gave Kun? I feel like that's grounds to like be like shut up in the locker room. He's like, yo, y'all see that pass on the Kun?
Then somebody was like, who? But
no one said that on the They're like, yeah.
They did win 2-0, and now they're in the quarterfinals. Colombia beat Paraguay to go 3-0 in the group stages. They beat Paraguay 1-0.
Colombia looks really, really good.
They're looking strong. I didn't watch that game, but also then the last game of the tournament. Well, I guess it was the last game. Uruguay played Chile. Uruguay won 1-0. my cable was like rebooting during the whole match until like the last 10 minutes. I only got to see the last 10 minutes of the game. But I did notice that Chile has another black guy, but he's Brazilian. Something Fernandez, I forgot.
Gilson? No.
I thought I wrote it down.
Can be Gilson.
But yeah, they got another black guy other than
so all the black people play for Chile are from Chile.
No, but I guess they might have grown up there. But but yeah, that guy's
one day.
He's a forward. He plays in Turkey somewhere. Anyalaspor, I don't know. Jesus. And but yeah,
talking about deep recruiting.
Cavani got that really dope header. I know you did. You see it?
Yeah.
You don't want to give no love. You know it was fresh.
It was really good. Cavani's playing really good this tournament.
He's doing well.
Really good. They're having a good tandem up there up top.
For sure. Oh, but it was really okay. So he got that goal in the 82nd minute. I literally started watching in like the 80th minute, like the 79th minute. He got that goal in the 82nd minute.
You know what's funny to me about these games? I'm mad. I watched like Uruguay the second most, Uruguay like the second most, and I'm like watching now. Every time I watch the game, I'm like, wow, you can really tell how long Luis Suarez and Cavani have been playing together.
Oh yeah,
you can tell like it's literally probably been like a decade. Yeah, like they've been playing together for a long time.
In that like, hardcore 4-4-2.
Yeah, they've been doing that for so long. Like they're and that's like the perfect tandem up top for like a 4-4-2. Oh yeah, like because Suarez not trying to run for real. So like they have Cavani. Cavani's a hustler, so it's perfect.
Yeah. It was really funny because Cavani got that goal. It was a nice cross by Jonah Rodriguez. He kind of looks like Blake Griffin a little bit. In the 85th minute, it was really funny. Cavani like kind of got the ball and he's like trying to like kick it across the field, kind of switch the play a little bit. That ball went so far out of bounds. It was hilarious. I was like, watch Chile score off that. It's going to be all your fault.
Change the whole rhythm.
Yeah, it was really fun. I was like, that's such a
kicking into the bleachers.
He kicked it so far. I'm like, yo, dog. Like, Caceres is running for it. He's like, oh, God. And then in the 89th minute, Cavani tried some shot from like outside the box. It was like he kind of like got it off his knee, his thigh, and like tried to shoot it. It flew so far away from the goal, and then he tried to look at Suarez like, "Oh, I was trying to pass it to you."
I'm like, you're black.
I'm like, you're black. He like he kind of like he's like, "Oh, I'm trying to."
Oh my bad, y'all. I was trying to get that to you.
I thought you was running.
I do that so much in Sunday League. That's for you, my bad.
But yeah, Uruguay won 1-0, and they went top of the group. So we have the quarterfinals of the Copa America. Well, let's get into these matchups. We got on Thursday. Oh, this is gonna suck, but Thursday is Brazil versus Paraguay. I'm not gonna be able to watch it because of the Democratic Party debates. Telemundo is showing the debate, and they're not showing the game.
You have a login to your laptop to watch it on ESPN Plus.
Okay, well, let's do it after the show.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
Don't ever. I'm still going to end up watching on Telemundo. I don't want to hear ESPN coverage.
Okay, just mute it.
I'm going to watch on Telemundo other than this game. Anyway, so we got Brazil versus Paraguay. We got Brazil. They're playing Thursday, first quarterfinal match. Brazil scored the most goals in the group stage, 8 goals, 0 against. Okay? Although they did have what I want to call the cupcake group, and they have the cupcake quarterfinal. Brazil got 2 points in 3 matches, but they had a -1 goal differential, and Japan had a -4, so Paraguay advances. But yeah, Brazil's had the cupcake tournament so far.
You said that 3 times?
Yeah, cupcake tournament. Cupcake group in the
We're
cupcake quarterfinal.
Let's go.
Yeah, you're advancing.
Let's go.
Off that 0-0 draw.
Well, at least you know Brazil's good to get out of a group. Brazil's good to get out of a group.
This is true. Okay, Caesar, really quick before we get into the rest of the quarterfinals, though.
I want to say the Dunga Copa America, I don't think we made it out of the group. Or we lost first round.
Wait, 2016 or 15?
The Dunga one.
I
feel like we did it really bad, though.
Nah, y'all got out the group, I'm sure.
Did we? Because I remember at his end of his spiel, I think he lost like 3 in a row, and I was like almost like tied for a national team record.
I don't know, but
I was like, yo, did we just lose almost 3 in a row? I gotta look it up. I'm probably all wrong.
It could be qualifiers too.
He was doing pretty bad qualifiers. Then Cheech came in and won every single one.
Crazy, yeah.
Cheech is like Brazil record is stupid right now.
Okay, Caesar.
One loss in his whole career.
That's crazy. Okay, Caesar. I'm reading this article the other day about how Brazilians are falling out of love with their distant and expensive football team. It was an interesting article. They're talking about like the tickets for the prices, how like there's other things talking about how like Brazil's playing a lot of friendlies and stuff out of the country. So the teams are the fans, like the Brazilian fans, are not really like feeling that connection, and they're saying also that a lot of, since Brazil's league becoming like a selling league, the stars don't stay in Brazil very long. I mean, we've seen that with Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo.
Yeah, but I've seen there's Brazilians coming back.
Yeah, but imagine they're old.
No, I mean,
don't bring up Gabby.
Gabigol came back.
But he ain't a star though.
I mean, he's a pretty big name. He's a known name in Brazil.
He got star eyebrows. Star boy. Hey. I don't know what you've heard about that since you got.
I absolutely agree. I mean, the big
connections.
issue with Brazil is like, especially with the top team, it's more corporate based. So it's like they really like to adhere to the elites.
Yeah,
so
that's what they're talking about too.
They feel like they make more money because the fandom pays more to watch Brazil outside of Brazil, because they feel like, oh, this is Brazil, like I'm over here in Japan, like this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, so they want to spend money to see Brazil. And then when they come to Brazil, they want to keep meeting that same price point, and Brazilians are obviously not gonna be able to pay that. Like all the games in the world on the Copa America, all the lower bowl had hell empty seats. If you zoom out the camera,
it's insane.
But what's crazy is zoom out the camera, the top is full. It's popping up there because the lower bowl is so expensive. It was just like when I went to the World Cup. In the World Cup, like the lower bowl was having such a hard time filling up in the beginning.
That's
but
ridiculous.
then the top was popping, dude. It was really weird.
That's where the party was, where y'all were saying all those slurs.
It's fun.
I
mean, yeah, absolutely.
Don't repeat them, please.
Viado?
Why would you do that when we're trying to be?
They don't even know.
All right.
It's 4 listeners in Bangladesh.
Here we go. Anyway, so you're agreeing that there's a bit of disconnect.
Absolutely.
National team.
Ever since they brought,
you think if they win this
honestly,
Copa, it'll bring it together?
I'm gonna keep it real. Ever since the Lula thing ended, the things were like kind of like the tickets were super expensive. Like,
what do you mean the Lula thing?
Well, Lula was the one that kind of got the bid for the World Cup to come to Brazil, and he was in the beginning of the construction of it, but then he was gone before the construction was completed. So out of presidency,
Dilma was there.
Yeah, Dilma was there. So the tickets were always super expensive. Not that they had any control of that, but but during, I don't know if Dilma had to do it, but they did do different pricing for Brazilians. During the World Cup, so like if you had Brazilian citizenship, like we paid a different price, and absolutely, like it was I think half the price of international ticket prices. So that is cool, and that's what they should be doing also for Copa America. It should be international versus domestic. They might be doing it, but it's probably still like egregious. I have all kind of family in Salvador who love going to games. They go to Bahia games like regularly, like they go to Bahia games, but they do not go to Copa America because it's just too expensive. Like it's totally different pricing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's a shame too because like
it adds to the atmosphere.
It adds to the atmosphere, but I think their idea is like, well, it's okay if they don't come because we have to hire less security and blah, and it's cheaper, so they don't care.
The money's in TV.
The money's in TV. They don't make, just like they talk about like any kind of events and concerts. They don't make as much money from the gate. They make more money from TV and viewership,
advertising and stuff like that. That
sucks, man. That's why they should just do like they do for basketball and just like show no lights and no lights shining on the bleachers, make it all black and let them play on the field.
You know where I learned,
like the Lakers kind of do.
I learned about that, like the price, like how it's more for TV rights than like stadium rights from Susan Faludi book, who is she's a feminist writer.
I learned from literally the opposite. I learned that from the UFC.
There you go.
Because one time they're like, "Oh, only 7,000." We sold. They're like, "Yeah, we only sold 900,000 in the gate." But then you're like, yeah, but they're getting guaranteed 500,000 pay-per-view buys, and that's like astronomical number.
You said 900,000 at the gate or 9,000?
9,000 at the gate.
Okay,
like
wilding out.
Tickets sold 9,000.
You said 900,000. You wilding out.
Now I meant $900,000 made. Like,
gotcha.
At the gate is nothing compared to like if 1,000 pay-per-views sell, that's $50 each already. Like that's a lot of money.
Do Caesar know what he's talking about over here or what?
I'm just saying, like...
Check out Caesar on Fistic Arts Podcast, though, with Jeff Wahl of Tiki Talker Podcast.
Yeah, we did last 2 episodes, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They're over there going hard. I haven't listened to the latest one yet, but I will. Just kind of like not know what y'all are talking about. Anyway, Brazil versus Paraguay, cupcake quarterfinal, 4th time.
I wish it was Brazil versus Japan.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Because Japan has the second most Japanese people. Brazil has the second most Japanese people outside of Japan.
I was really excited to see the Japan debut in Sao Paulo, and they did the first game in Sao Paulo on purpose, and shit was like hell empty.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm like, yo, it's too expensive.
Even the Japanese people there can't afford it.
They're like, no, I'm good. I have TV.
They're like, no, I'm good. We like baseball.
They're like, I have TV.
They're like, we like baseball. Okay. We also have Venezuela versus Argentina. Venezuela coming in off of a 5-point group. Don't be looking over here. Venezuela coming off a 5-point group stage. Argentina coming off a 4-point group stage. Now, Caesar, people were going to be thinking like, oh man, Venezuela, Argentina. Venezuela got no shot. You all right?
I'm good.
But I did a little research. You know how I do.
What was that last win?
Okay, look at this guy. Always got to be, what is this guy doing?
Prepared.
Anyway, going back to the qualifiers, the World Cup qualifiers, which is the last time these two, like the Cotton Bowl teams, like were competing against each other. Venezuela did not lose to Argentina. They drew them twice in the World Cup qualifiers, although one was with Messi and one was without Messi for Argentina. But Messi didn't score in the game that he was in.
One was he was retired probably.
I guess. But one of them was 2-2, one of them was 0-0.
For qualifiers, he must have been retired.
So Venezuela plays Argentina well recently.
Didn't he won 3-1?
Who?
I think the last match Venezuela won 3-1 against Argentina. I want to say the last match
was it a friendly?
Yeah,
that friendly. Yeah, I'm not really
I
counting.
know, but I think they won 3-1.
Yeah,
so
I'm not really counting.
Though.
I'm not really counting the friendly.
I know you don't
personally, but like the last time they were like competing in like an actual tournament was the qualifiers. Although I know that was a long time ago, but Venezuela has a track record recently of playing hard against Argentina, so we don't really know.
They actually play pretty hard against just the top tier.
Yeah, they held Brazil goalless. They're the only team.
Honestly, Venezuela's always been pretty annoying to play against. Like Venezuela's annoying. Either they're easy to beat or they really make you work for it.
Yeah, I mean they're a tough team. You know, they're playing for a lot, and they beat America ass too.
Yeah. And they're like that Ronda dude does his thing up there. He's annoying to deal with.
He's a good player. He plays in the EPL. Yeah. He played for Newcastle last season.
Yeah.
We also have Colombia versus Chile.
Yes, sorry. Guess who plays for Newcastle?
Who plays him? Yeah, Keystone Union. Yeah, he plays for them too. Yeah. I watched their last game against Liverpool. I watched their game against Liverpool, hoping that Newcastle will pull it out. Chile versus Colombia. I wrote down that Chile's looks decent. Like they don't look like 2015-16 Chile, but they're looking pretty good. And
even Alexis doesn't look terrible. He's like,
he doesn't. I didn't get to see most of that game against Uruguay, but I was kind of like following it on Twitter, and they were saying that Chile had a lot of chances. Uruguay just kind of like a really tough defense.
On ESPN Plus, all the games are able to watch anytime. So I rewatch them all.
You're a goon.
Yeah. So when I watched the Chile Uruguay game, I'm like, like Alexis Sanchez is not like awful. He's doing fine. Like he's just doing his thing. He's fine.
It's funny that we've said that before, like how he turns up for the national team, but like for Man U,
he really he's like yelling at people. He's like going hard. Well. I'm like, you're really trying to do this.
Yeah. But I put that Chile looks decent, not as good as they have in the past. But Colombia is looking strong and determined. They look strong, just strong.
They look in great shape.
Yeah,
they look
determined.
You know what it is? I think it's across the board if you really think about it, because I think there's a notion. If you think about that team, even from the top two players,
like
let's say James and Cuadrado are the top players. Let's say they are.
Okay.
They're both guys who also feel like they have something to prove.
Absolutely.
And that resonates in the team of players who are not big names and also feel like they have something to prove too.
Absolutely, yeah.
So when you have that entire atmosphere, unlike Argentina, where there's a guy who doesn't feel like he has anything to prove and is already saying that they're not a favorite, like that attitude, like say what you want. Attitude is everything in the locker room. People don't really know, like, it's everything. One person can affect the whole room.
Absolutely.
Especially when it's your main guy. It really is like a cloud.
And when you have your players who are like the best players on the team,
fighting,
determined, like, really want to win. Even Falcao, like he has something to prove too.
Yeah, he has something to prove. He wants. He. I know he probably has so many sleepless nights about missing the World Cup with the ACL and his battle back from playing at Chelsea and Man U was tough.
Missing Copa Americas too.
Missing Copa Americas, like he and that year he was on too. Like he was killing it before that ACL tear. You know, and he feel like he wants to do something for his country before he retires. It's like giving something, you know, in his time there, and you know, Squared or Cuadrado like really like. Think about it. When that first match happened and that first half Colombia had, like that attitude, if you like that carries across the whole tournament if you keep doing it. And
absolutely.
Just watching Cuadrado there in that first half of the Argentina game was like, yo, like they came to fucking play.
You dropped a lot of F-bombs today.
I dropped one.
No, you dropped one earlier. Don't ever flex on me. I'll listen to you. Cuadrado was in that in that midfield getting busy that first game. I don't care about this face you're making. Watch the video on YouTube so you can see the face he made. That face right there. Aw. He loves that. Anyway, what you drinking on? Colombia versus Chile. That's gonna be like that's kind of the most exciting game for me. Like,
I'm very excited for this.
Two teams that like Chile is like.
Chile isn't the best, but Chile's not one to like roll over and get destroyed.
No, because honestly, I thought they were going to beat Uruguay.
Chile, just in the history, they're fighters. Like they go hard, and that matchup is really fun.
Yeah, that's going to be.
That's a really fun matchup.
Yeah, like that's the one. Like if somebody's going to call it, you're going to call Brazil. You might call Argentina, and Uruguay, Peru. You might call Uruguay, but you can't call Chile, Colombia.
Like you know, if we're talking about previewing the playoffs, you know, Brazil. I think that when they have that Paraguay matchup, that's really where they gotta like get it honed in, like that rhythm.
Paraguay beat them in 2011.
They scored. Wow, get random. Tell me something a million years ago. Literally, like Ronaldinho was there back then.
Thiago Silva missed a penalty.
Oh, dude, I don't care. He was in Milan back then. So like. You know, we're talking about Brazil, and they had a great game last against not a very strong team, obviously. So if if they're able to bring that over, that success and like how the feeling, whatever feeling they have inside, maybe Richarlison's out there balling. If they bring that into the match in Paraguay, they can keep a rhythm going because they need all the rhythm they can get.
I don't know why you're talking about Brazil again.
No, I'm just saying, like, especially when before they come across like in a Colombia, because that's a team that's on, and for right now, that's a favorite, like for
Absolutely.
sure. Like I got them like for sure
based on like playing
how they played. Sure. They're on their shit. Like honestly,
Uruguay versus Peru is the other quarterfinal. Peru dropped 3 on Bolivia, but then they got 5 put on them by Brazil. Do you watch that game? Mm-hmm. I didn't see it. Uruguay just kind of looks like Uruguay. Like, it's not really that crazy. Jefferson Farfan is out. And, so, I mean, I don't know. Good. Peru, you can't sleep on Peru. Obviously, Future said off that Molly and that white just like Peru. And also, Future said drug houses looking like Peru on mask off.
I think that the biggest thing is that Peru in the last match, like I think... Maybe stats wise, like Jefferson Farfan doesn't really show how effective he is, but I think in the game he's really important to that team.
He's a baller.
Like he's really good with the ball. Like he makes things happen. Anytime you have someone that can dribble and control the ball, that can control a game for you.
Smart player.
He was linking up with Guerrero, who's a baller, super baller. Came off that drug suspension in Brazil, playing for Flamengo.
How old is he? Like 49.
Okay, so he's a baller. They work.
What was it? Suspension?
They work.
Suspension. What was it for?
Drugs.
Drug houses looking like Peru, as Future said on Out of Time.
It's the second time you said that. Literally, like
you said drug suspension.
You had to bring up the same lyric you said earlier.
Oh, my bad. That was mask off.
Out of time. So yeah. But I think that, especially with Farfan, I think they're kind of deflated. They didn't bring up that young winger they have, Yuri Reina. They didn't bring him.
What the hell happened in the Brazil game? How they get 5 put on him?
They got obliterated. Weberton he started again. He was so good. Swerverton was balling, dude.
Young Swerverton.
He was balling. Like honestly, he's
trying to go to Europe.
He is. He's trying to get out.
He's trying to get that bread.
Those face tats. He's trying to get out.
He got the tattoos of a straight criminal, though. Like, damn, dog. Are
you? He gotta go.
You trying to play a role, dude? But yeah, I'm excited for Copa America. Once again, Copa America is my favorite international tournament.
It's going so hard. Are you gonna watch any AFCON?
Yeah, but it's still group stage.
I tried to watch Benin Ghana. I was like, I can't do this. I love myself, but I can't.
Copa America is my first favorite tournament. My second favorite tournament is Cotton Bowl World Cup qualifiers.
That last one was so damn good.
That's my second favorite tournament, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Mine is number 1 Copa America. No, number 1 World Cup, number 2 Copa America, number 3 UEFA Euros. Playoffs though, not group stage, because I don't want to see Israel playing.
You're talking about the UEFA, the Euros tournament?
Yeah, the tournament, not like the qualifiers for it's rough. I'm not trying to see like Macedonia or whatever like playing.
Give me Condom Bowl, sir. Copa America and the qualifiers.
Would you rather watch Gold Cup or Asian
AFC by far. Honestly, I'd rather watch.
You watch Qatar versus Japan final than seeing America versus Mexico.
I don't care about that, honestly.
You don't care about that?
No, I just want Mexico to win. Like, that's it.
Me too.
I don't really care about it though. Honestly,
you know what would be really cool if the final was Gold Cup? It'd be really cool if it was Mexico versus Canada.
Yeah, honestly, I'd be more excited if Canada was good.
Like, yeah, they're getting better though. They're working on it.
All right,
they're working on it.
All right.
They're working on it. All right.
Okay, Caesar, let's talk about some Women's World Cup.
Yes.
I did see.
Did you watch the last game? What games did you watch? I watched Brazil. The Brazil game was really good. It went to double overtime. I went to overtime.
Yeah, they lost.
They did, but it was a really good match.
I just watched USA versus Spain. Okay. That's the only game I watched. That was a good game.
I did too.
You watched it?
Yeah.
Okay, let me say a few things that I have. Rapinoe is I've said this 2 years ago that she's the best American player in my opinion, male or female. Lavelle, she reminds me of Messi so much.
It's insane.
Like
it's
she's
really
like
insane.
Messi. Like she's literally like Messi. And I saw that the first game against Thailand. I was like, okay, it's Thailand, whatever. But this game, I'm like, she had a pass to Rapinoe on a shot where Rapinoe shot it with her left foot. The goalie saved it. It looked like it might have been going out of bounds though. I just cut through just like everything this pass that Lavelle had.
She's like if I had a word to describe her, she's silky.
Oh,
like
yeah.
she's silky.
Literally like Messi.
Her and that chick from Netherlands is like that.
Okay.
They're both like they both have that really like crafty style, like and especially with their passing and movement. I'm like, you're a baller.
Let's say woman. In the 20th minute, I wrote. Okay, this is what I wrote. Tell me, Caesar. This is actually a question for you. I'm looking at your Soldier Watch. Bust the Soldier Watch out. The Soldier Watch.
Y'all see, I hit all my activity goals today. I'm full. My rings are closed. Look at the rings closed.
This dude's a weirdo. Caesar, here's my question. What year... Caesar, what year...
Yeah, rings are closed.
Caesar, what year will the men's national team, the U.S. men's national team, be able to play like the women's national team? What year will that happen? Or will it ever happen?
I think that the way it's going right now, it's not going to ever happen if this is the track we're going to do in.
So it's
if we're on a pace where you're still assigning a Columbus Crew manager as the top of the guy, and these are the decisions you're making, you're getting some dude named Ernie Stewart as a general manager, and you got a Goldman Sachs guy running it, you're never going to get that going.
I thought Ernie Stewart was a NASCAR driver.
He might be also. If that's what's going on, whatever, I don't know. Is it Ernie Stewart? Now you're
I'm joking. I think it is. He's also a soccer player.
He could be a NASCAR driver for you to have one that was black. So
he's black, ain't he?
He is.
Yeah.
But they also have black NASCAR driver there too. I just heard about that. Wow, lost track.
Never. You saying never?
Never what?
They're never going to be able to play like the women's national team.
If the thing is you can't predict something
I
unless
was
you
saying
have
2040.
concrete. If you have concrete evidence that you're making but how do I know they won't burn out from the investment by then? What if they're just like we already spent too much on this? It's not turning out. We're just going to let it write itself.
Okay, here's the thing. The women's national team. This is what I put in the 20th minute.
Why? Okay, listen. No, before you go. So let's keep it real. This is an honest question though. So 2002 World Cup, America made it to the quarterfinals. Okay. 2002.
Okay.
2002 they did. I
heard that.
It's 2019.
It is.
They missed out on the previous World Cup.
Big factor.
The scale is like
why you screaming at me?
So where have you shown, if there was a development, if America was always not qualifying, then started making it to group stage, and then started like developing or getting there? No, you haven't had that. You've had this really inconsistent thing, and decisions being made, such as in MLS. MLS has never been making investment towards growing the youth in America and bringing them to making them better. They're not doing promotion relegation. They have a weird system with the mafia up top. You're not showing me anything that constitutes a development towards your players getting better at a young level and developing into actual like stars.
So you're saying there's no way?
No, I don't see that happening. I gotta see something happening before I just throw 2040 out there.
Okay. The reason why I say that is because chill out with them looks, yo. The reason why I say that is because in the 20th minute, I wrote that the U.S. women's national team right now is playing better in this season than PSG did, than Real Madrid did, than Barcelona did, and like 20 times better than Manchester United.
They're really good.
Like the way they play football is better than those teams played this season.
You know what they do? Like whatever about their athleticism, they're really intelligent.
Well, they're all very athletic.
No, I'm saying but they're really intelligent.
Yeah, the way
you can have all the athleticism in the world, but if you have the right coaching and tactics and players have intelligence, that's a cohesion that's just like really rare to see, especially at the men's level in America. We don't see that at all.
Not even close. So what I'm saying is like the women's national team, like the way they're playing right now, like you can't get better than that.
You think
like,
that's a peak?
What you watch on the pitch, like it's just impeccable. Yeah. It's almost like when we were watching Chile in the 2015 Copa America or 2016.
They're just on.
It just looked. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Or like the.
0-2 Brazil.
Okay, that was like before the Iraq War, but also like watching like Real Madrid at their peak when they was winning like those Champions Leagues, and like Barcelona when Neymar was there with Xavi. I'm sorry, with Iniesta too. Yeah, it was just like or the other teams before that.
Or even the treble year they had with.
I didn't see that obviously, but
you did. The recent one with Neymar.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. That
was a ridiculous team.
That's the way the U.S. women's national team plays. So you don't think the men's... So if they can't ever advance, really, because they're, like, at the top, like, you don't think the women's national team can ever get there, like, 2080?
Men's?
Yeah, the men's national team, can they reach them in 3000?
Whatever, let's talk about a year that doesn't exist, like 2080. Like, sure, fine.
Okay, cool.
I mean, by then they'll be kicking it in the moon, so whatever.
Facts. In the 30-something...
Maybe they'll be better at zero-G soccer.
Okay. I put that Spain was playing actually kind of well in the U.S. women's national team.
They were not like scrubs. Like
no. There was a point where the women's national team, U.S. women's national team was chasing them a bit.
That's what's funny about like the national. They have that, like, for example, it really reminds me of that Japan game, like the one that they lost in the final. It's like they had everything, but just like a couple mistakes really started to eat them apart. Then they tried doing too much to get it. Like they get away from their tactics and they start chasing around. Yeah. And I'm like, you're just making yourself tired. Like you're not doing things to like win. Yeah. Which is a longer investment than just like quick stuff, you know?
Yeah, and you can imagine when you're like that good and then like the other team, you're not used to teams matching your level.
Frustration. Like,
yeah.
It builds.
You just kind of like, you panic a little bit.
Yeah.
In the 71st minute though, they did have that penalty called on them. I thought that it was a weak call. I thought it should be rescinded when they went to VAR.
Me too.
I was like, that's just not a penalty for me, honestly. I was like, Holly was saying that it is a penalty. I was like, I just don't think it's a penalty.
Holly said it was studs up, but I was like, look, I understand. And like, the biggest thing I learned, I think, from watching replays in football, like National Football League, is the impression of live versus slow-mo. Yeah. Slow-mo is like great, but it's also a little extra. Yeah. And when I watched the slow-mo, I'm like, it didn't feel or look like that live. And the thing about what's important about a live call, it's of course good to see the foul, but it's important to feel it. Like, feel the impact, feel the area. How does it feel? And like, when I watched it live, I was like, oh, really?
Yeah, and it didn't seem like it was like that much of a foul.
And I was going for America, and I was like, oh, really?
Yeah, it didn't really seem like that much of a foul on the player either. The player, like, she ended up falling down, but it wasn't like a foul.
No.
I thought it was weak.
Because, let's keep it real. Compared to men's soccer, I think women's is a lot more physical, so I always felt like that physicality is understood. So I see like a lot of elbowing and checking going on hard. So I'm like, oh, but we're calling this though. So all right, I don't know, whatever though. Like
when it went to VAR, I thought it would be overturned. It was not. Alex Morgan was going to take that penalty. Then Rapinoe stepped up to take it. She buried it.
Yeah, she's like...
Well, it was funny because after Rapinoe scored that first penalty in the 7th minute, I saw Alex Morgan walk up to her, and it looked like she was like, let me get the next one. It looked like she was saying that to her. I actually wrote that down. So when she stepped up for the next one, maybe Alex Morgan was like, you know what, it's a lot of pressure, like, here, you take it. Honestly. Yeah. And if she did that, I can respect that.
Yeah, you want to give somebody, like, you may be as good in the world, but maybe you don't have... If
you're not feeling it in your heart, you should give it away.
Like they say, if you have any doubt in your mind,
just give it.
Just pass it, because you have someone that's clinical too. Like, just let them handle it.
If
they're feeling it, like, go ahead.
Yeah, if they're not feeling that pressure, then
especially when you just made one, like you're definitely in the role for it.
Yeah, and if Alex, I don't know like what they said about it. I didn't look it up, but like if Alex Morgan was feeling like nervous. It's
please.
You're doing your team a service by passing it giving it to somebody who can take it.
You know what the doubt reminds me of? Like that Paraguay penalty against Argentina, when he got the penalty against Argentina, and you could like kind of feel like he was thinking about like you could feel like he had to make it. So it's like, oh, like you're not gonna make this, and he like didn't. He got blocked. Yeah, but like he didn't miss it. It got saved, obviously. Yeah. But I was like, yeah, like you can just sense it in the air. I'm like, you don't look like this is like you're about to thug this out right now. Yeah, because
penalty's a lot of pressure and it's not easy.
Huge, especially like when you're like these countries, you know.
Yeah, and it's a 1-1 game. Yeah. Actually, in the 98th minute, I thought that Spain was actually calling for a penalty, and I wanted to see the replay. They didn't show it, but then the game made it 2-1 to USA. Let's get into what these quarterfinals are looking at.
Really quick, also before we start, if they make an adjustment for VAR. They need to get rid of the rule not showing the VAR replays. Why do they get to see camera footage that we don't understand that rule?
Well, we're going to talk about VAR in a second.
Do we have to?
A little bit.
Every time.
Okay, here's the question. Here's this is what I'm calling this. Let me just read off these teams that's in the quarterfinals. We got Germany versus Sweden, Norway versus England, Italy versus Netherlands, France versus USA. This is the Women's White Cup right now.
Women's Money Cup.
I'm just like, what happened to the global South out here? Caesar, by the next World Cup, 2022, it'll be 20 years since a team from the global South won the World Cup. Brazil, 2002. And a team from the global South has never won the Women's World Cup. Obviously, it's only been since the 90s. But I'm like, damn, dude, what's up with the global South? Not even any representation.
Not even Australia up in there.
Well, that doesn't count as a global South, but
are you talking about global South in Southern Hemisphere?
No, like the kind of like the developing world kind of thing.
Oh,
yeah,
global South.
That's what it's called in the geopolitics game. Just go ahead and rock.
Cool, but like you're on a podcast that's not about geopolitics, so like you want to elaborate what that means.
Our audience is very intelligent. They know what I'm talking about.
So I'm stupid?
Well, you said it. You are wearing a do-rag. I'm joking.
Wow.
You do look like Kells. Anyway, but yeah, I was kind of like, I was like kind of sad. I was like, damn, this is the Women's White Cup right now. But yeah, it is what it is. So we got Germany, Sweden, Norway, England, Italy, Netherlands, France, USA. Probably the only game I'm going to watch is France, USA. That's the only game I'm like kind of have any excitement for, to keep it real. Megan Rapinoe is like my favorite American player.
She's so good.
Like she's just like, she just blows my mind. And this Lavelle person is like literally like the female person. She's like messy. I'm like, I saw her balling against Thailand. I was like, okay, let me like relax a little bit, because I'm like, she's ridiculous, but let me chill, because it's Thailand.
The best thing is to be like, you're really good.
But let me chill.
But let me wait till you do it.
But then I'm like, yo, dude, like there was a pass. It was a through pass to Rapinoe. I'm like, I don't know how you saw that. Like those are the passes that you see like. Nobody makes those passes hardly ever. It's literally I only see Messi make passes like that.
Oh, also, like, damn, Brazil didn't win. No, sad.
Well, they're in the global South and they are out. This is the Women's White Cup.
Tough out here.
Yeah, and it's a shame. I don't know what's going on. Like,
you know what's going on. You know exactly what's going on. Those are all teams off top that invest way more money into the women's organizations than the global South teams do.
Sadly,
and it resonates, like especially like culturally too in those countries as well too. They're like otherwise like it's tough too. But also it really sucked for me to not see Japan go through. You know, like it seems
they're not part of the global South either.
I know they're not part of it, but that was really cool for me to see them like be a tough team to beat and like even like seeing. I want to see what Korea could do. You know, China like that stuff. Like it sucks. That really does suck.
Yeah, Japan. Sorry, you don't.
You know what would be better for the league? You know how they do like a lot of like implementation of teams based upon like how many like spots certain areas get. They should make it harder for teams, European teams, to get into the World Cup. Make it easier for the teams like in like Global South or whatever other conferences to make it. But like making less spots for them and more spots for countries outside of Europe.
Yeah, I don't think they need charity.
No, not charity, but open up more spots worldwide so it creates more development for the sport. Because it's not in the same spot as a men's league is in terms of like popularity worldwide. So you want to grow the sport.
Yeah, but I don't think they. I mean, I'm not trying to call it charity as a.
No, but think about it. You have how many European teams right there?
All of them are.
Okay, but I'm saying like, why is it so wrong for me to think that other teams around the world should get more spots because you have literally 8 teams that are Europe right there.
Yeah, but they won.
Listen to me though. You have 8 teams from Europe. Why is it 8 teams from Europe and then what? Like the other 8 that lost are from spread out around the world? That's not fair.
Caesar, hold on. How are you going to say it's not fair when the European teams beat those other teams? They played them on the pitch and they won.
Yeah,
so it's fair.
Don't let them all in.
It's too ridiculous. It's too literally ridiculous. Hey, you won, but you got to go.
Yeah, that's really good, but you got to work harder.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, well. You should. Oh, wait a minute. You don't like working harder to get things? Man, talk to me about it. Talk. The best thing is all the Brazil posts. We're like, oh, colonizers did it again. That's all the Brazil posts.
You got to colonize your president. Okay, Caesar, did you see the speaking of VAR, England will beat Cameroon 3-0. Did you see the VAR madness and the protests that Cameroon women did? You didn't see? You didn't hear about it?
No.
What the hell is this guy doing? This guy's a sexist. I'm just joking.
Wow.
Well, there was some. I didn't see the game, but there were some crazy VAR calls. Apparently, I did see some of the highlights, and the Cameroon women felt like they were being treated unfairly, and they like kind of like didn't set up for the kickoff after a certain goal, and they were like complaining to the ref. They were like protesting basically on the pitch. I think Gary Neville, is it Phil or Gary? I don't know.
Gary.
He was saying how despicable it was. There was a lot of opinions about this. I honestly, I thought you saw it.
I didn't.
There was a lot of,
Was it Cameroon versus England?
Yeah.
When Gary Neville was opposed to it, of course.
Well, yeah, and they were like protesting, and apparently they were saying that it was racist, like these calls that they were getting. Like one of their goals got called back, and then there was like some other stuff. I'm not gonna say like it was unfair. Like VAR is there to be VAR, and like when you have VAR, your goals are gonna get reviewed, and if there's anything that happened, it's gonna come back. I don't like VAR. We said a year ago VAR is trash. We were like some of the originals talking about VAR is useless, and I just want to reiterate that I said that in the World Cup last year. There was a game, Nigeria versus Argentina. The dude kicked the Nigeria player in the head in the box, and we know this because the ref stopped the play because somebody got hit in the head. The ref stopped the play because somebody got hit in the head. It was in the box. The only other player there was an Argentina player. How in the world is that not a foul if somebody gets kicked in the head in the box?
I don't understand how VAR can be used whenever it wants. It's inconsistent. There's not a clear rule base. There's not a code adhering to when it's supposed to be used no matter what. It's just terrible. And honestly, things like that happening, I don't blame the women or the team. I blame the system. When you have a broken system that has cracks or any kind of job or life, you make adjustments so things like this don't happen again. Sadly, they're not making adjustments, just riding it out. And stuff like this is a consequence of your own failed system.
Absolutely.
Also, get a new phone case.
No. But yeah, in the article that I read about it, they were saying that I saw this. Cameroon kind of like refused to start the play, and it looked like they were going to sit down. A lot of people were wilding out, but there's been instances of players boycotting and doing acts against the match during the game. I have a screenshot here of what is this team? In Argentina, San Jorge de Tucumán sat down to protest against the referee. It was it was like a promotion playoff game, and the team sat down. Speaking of boycotts, in the World Cup, the Soviet Union boycotted a whole match, didn't show up. Players and teams, there's all kinds of things that happen. Teams get frustrated. Federations don't want to do stuff. Boycotts and protesting is part of the match. If they felt like it was unfair, it is what it is.
You have tournaments and leagues that are basically run through by European teams, so Europe is not a representative of the world. You have a world sport going on. People come from different cultures and backgrounds where they feel like an injustice is going on, they act differently. So it's important for us to be more understanding of these behaviors and see why they're
already
happening.
Behind the eight ball.
And especially you also make sure efforts are being made to fix things. So if you want to understand this, it's a global sport, then you need to have rules and stuff in place so that globally everybody can get along and understand them. Then just implement something and just say everybody go in there. And if you don't want to be a part of it or you're mad at it, then like you're a terrible person. That's not how it works. Like you just handle things differently.
Yeah, and
especially when cameramen, who knows what they've gone through in their life. So like if they feel like they're being treated unfairly, who's me to tell them they should just keep on going? I don't have the right to do that, nor will I ever say that. And I'm speaking from my end of perspective. Lord knows why the hell even Gary say anything like that. Like it's not like any of us to speak on that. It's more about commissions and all that to fix these things so they don't happen again.
Yeah, and I'm just like, you know what, dude? Like I seen Totti run over and kick Balotelli as hard as he could, and he's still a legend, and nobody talks about that. These women,
Totti.
It was Totti.
It was
No, you're talking about against Liverpool. You're talking about Janmaat.
Okay.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That one too. But I seen Totti run over and kick him and just take his red card and walk off. That's worse than protesting the referee, in my opinion. So whatever. Also,
I've seen players shove and put fingers in ref faces.
Yeah, I seen Messi choke out Rudiger, and Rudiger's over here fighting against racism.
I've seen players make weird advancements at a female ref. I'm like, what's going on here?
Whoa! I seen somebody throw a shoe at a ref. Okay. Also, before we get,
I forget that ref had the pistol though.
Where was that in
South
Brazil?
America,
right? It was in Brazil, wasn't it? No, it wasn't Brazil.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
What of
Caesar,
it?
I ain't mad at him. He pulled out the Roscoe on him. Okay, Caesar.
Yes.
I want to say this really quick before we talk about NBA. Grant Wahl tweeted this. He said, in reference to the Women's World Cup, I think it was a Nigeria match, he said, let's talk about how all of us talk about African teams and black soccer players. How often do you hear high soccer IQ? How often do you hear pace and power? And, you know, that's cool and that's cute. Like, yo, son, you're late to the party. Like, Grant Wahl, like, I don't really follow him, and I tweeted back when we made it. I was like, you know, if you want to like change that, you need like more representation in media, that people that actually don't come into these sports with the bias already towards black players. I remember Matteo Bonetti used to say that all the time, talking about different players and stuff. It was all in different teams, always like the black players is athletic, powerful, fast.
It kills me when I hear that.
I'm like,
look at William Carvalho. What are you talking about?
You feel me? Even Jossie is an artist. I remember arguing something like, he's not fast.
Even Josie Altidore, he's not fast.
No, like he said, let's talk about how all of us talk about. Like, no, it's not all of us. It's not all of us. I don't know who us is or who all is that you're talking about. There are people that are out here doing a consistent weekly podcast for 2 years with no breaks, even when Caesar's out of town or out of the country, even when I'm out of town or out of the country, we drop stuff. We care about the sport a lot, and we don't talk about these players like they're just horses out there.
No,
we recognize their actual game.
Yeah, I've never been a player. We're not here over here saying that every single black player is strong or powerful or whatever he is. We don't do that around here.
Yeah, just because they're black, we don't say that.
Yeah, you need to have you can't be. It's like you said. It's really important to have representation in the media, representation in top organizations,
mainstream
representation
media.
in commissions. Lord knows when the hell there's ever going to be a African or black commissioner of the FIFA.
I'll vote for you.
All right, I'm down.
Also, dang it, what I was going to say. You know who the player that literally just gets by on athleticism more than anybody? This is the player that gets by just on being fast and being like having athleticism. This dude has the lowest soccer IQ of anybody, and he's a starter and he plays for a really good team. Nicholas Otamendi. He's the number one. He's the number one. If he was black, it would be a totally different story around him. Oh, yeah. He literally just gets by on having a size and like some level of speed. He has no soccer IQ at all.
Every time I watch him, I get infuriated. I think he has no skills. I think he's really dirty. I think he's honestly, it makes me really mad. Like, he's super dirty when he plays, and it really pisses me off. Like, I really can't handle it. I know it's the same thing. Oh, he's Brazilian. Whatever. Time Argentinians. Look, I don't care. I don't feel that way about Tree Trunk. I'm no tree. I don't feel like that about other Argentinian players at all. But when he's on the field, I'm like, I know he's gonna foul and it's gonna be cheap. No, he's dirty.
Okay, but let's talk about the other.
I'm getting to what I'm saying because I've been building up to this. Okay, he's dirty, and I want to cuss, and it's making me mad. I can't because you brought it up earlier.
Well, I didn't bring him
he's extremely dirty as a player, and I hate it. So that's his way of like making up for being beat off, making stupid decisions as a player and then try to rely on athleticism that you honestly don't even have as well.
He's athletic.
Like, he's fast, he can move, whatever. I don't care though. That's annoying, and he needs to stop being dirty.
What's wrong with you?
He made me mad. I hate that.
You have issues. Future said, I ain't trying to argue, I got issues. Caesar. Anyway, Nicholas Otamendi is like the quintessential
dirty player.
Jesus, yo. I can't with this guy.
That last game, he had 3 yellow cards not called. He should have been out the game years ago. Oh yeah, they don't say anything. They never say anything about it. It's so annoying. If he was freaking Koulibaly, they'd be talking about how emotional he is and how he needs to control his aggression. If he was an African player, absolutely. He's aggressive. He needs to be more disciplined for his play. No one ever said the word discipline in their life to Otamendi.
I wouldn't say that, but they would.
No, but they would immediately.
They would talk about him different if he was like.
Imagine if it was Rudiger.
Yeah, exactly. They would talk about him. Okay, Caesar. Also, in the Women's World Cup,
oh my God.
There's been a little bit of, I forgot about this before we're going to talk about the NBA. relax. You the one turning yourself all up, screaming all at the top of your lungs. Anyway,
Put the do-rag on. I'm fired up.
This plum fool ever... You know what? Hold up. Don't you... Hold on. No.
Hey, no, hold on.
I'm not going to scream like you.
All right.
Don't you ever open your fool mouth about Megan Rapinoe, Donald Trump. Don't ever do it again. He's over here because they talked to him about Megan Rapinoe. She's not singing the national anthem or putting her hand over her heart. She's a freedom fighter. She's referred to herself as a walking protest.
I love it.
This fool ever opened his goddamn mouth about her. He said that I don't think that it's appropriate her doing that. You should have just said no comment. And they asked him also about like the wage gap. He said, I think a lot of it has to do with economics. I mean, who draws more? Where's the money coming in? I know that when you have great stars like Ronaldo, some of these stars, they get paid a lot of money. They draw hundreds of thousands of people, but I haven't taken a position on all that.
Whoa. Nothing, I don't care. Nothing in life is better than Donald Trump telling people that something is not appropriate. Mr. I run America, the pageant talking about grabbing a woman by her privates, the same guy who's not paying his taxes, all this stuff. But
bragging about it.
Yeah, bragging about it.
But yeah, I was just mad that he ever opened his fool mouth to talk about a freedom fighter and an amazing, hardworking athlete, Megan Rapinoe. I don't want to ever hear it again. All right? Don't open your fool mouth about Megan Rapinoe, Donald Trump. You heard it here when we made a podcast. I ain't scared.
For now.
Okay, Caesar. Let's talk. You know what? Here we made a podcast. You know, we're a sports. We focus on international football, but we're also a sports podcast. Obviously, episode 111, we started off talking about Kellen Winslow and his criminal activity. He's a former NFL player. We've talked a lot about different sports here. We've talked about hockey. We've talked about golf. We've talked about basketball, football, American football, rowing. No, I'm joking.
Badminton.
But we're going to do some of our horrible NBA coverage. Hold on, let me pull up this article. Did I not pull it up? Caesar, I have a question for you. Do you think the number 1 draft pick, Zion Williamson, named after the city in the Matrix where the humans lived on...
I was expecting you to say some Babylonia or something, but you really went to the city in the Matrix.
Named after the city, that big party.
Shout out Keanu Reeves.
Okay, and Lawrence Fishburne, Jada Pinkett, Tyler Perry was also in there, and
What was
Roy
he doing?
Jones Jr.
Oh yeah, Roy Jones Jr. He was
in there. He was in there.
Oh my god! And Mekhi Phifer.
No, he was. Was he in the Matrix?
Yeah, he was.
I think he was in Divergent.
No, who was the guy who was? It was him. He had the dreads and he was on the
That's
on the
not
radio.
Pfeiffer.
No,
That's not Mekhi Pfeiffer.
Who was that?
I forgot his name, but he was in this one movie with Anthony Hopkins. They got attacked by a bear. I forgot the
what
name.
the?
I forgot the name of that movie. It's a really good movie. It's a
He
really good
was
movie.
in the movie.
It was him and Alec
with Anthony
Baldwin.
Hopkins
And
he
Alec
got
Baldwin.
attacked by a
Caesar, hold on.
You don't remember his name, but you
Caesar,
remember him being in the movie when he got attacked.
Caesar. It's a movie with Alec Baldwin and Anthony Hopkins, and that dude with the dress. I forget his name. They get attacked by a bear. He's also in Best Man.
He is in Best Man.
Yeah.
The hell's his name?
He was also in Romeo and Juliet.
It isn't Mekhi Phifer. Mekhi Phifer has a gap.
He doesn't have a gap.
Yes, he does.
He doesn't.
Okay, he did in 8 Mile.
Yo, hold on. They got attacked by bears. Really good movie. But anyway, Zion Williamson. Do you think the number 1 draft pick of the New Orleans Pelicans, Zion Williamson, do you think he's going to be good in the NBA?
I think he is going to be good.
Why is that?
I know it's easy to say, oh, can be bust, but usually when you see players, I mean, you don't ever see players like that who have that, like, I guess, like, physical attributes and everything. Last time you see somebody like that even close was, like, a LeBron James, and it turned out pretty well. Obviously, the people are anomalies. It doesn't happen often.
You can't compare Zion and LeBron.
Look, man, I'm not comparing them, but that's the closest person physicality wise I've seen. Yeah,
he looks like
the
Charles
one thing
Barkley
is about
to me.
the one thing about Zion, I meant like height wise and like jumping, like athleticism, but like, man, Zion's really like big. Yeah, man,
He's a little chunky.
The thing is, but I'll keep it real. If it goes the right way, it's different than it used to be in the early 2000s and 90s. I think these teams are a lot more strict with like their diets.
Yeah, for sure.
There's an investment towards it. I think he's gonna get in great shape, obviously. And it also depends on like how New Orleans is too. I think he can do good. I think he can do really good. I'm more hesitant about really skinny players that were good in college going into NBA than I am about players who are physically large, because and especially like a tweener, like someone who's like 6'9", but really, or 6'7", that plays like a real power forward. I'm like, you're not gonna do good in the NBA unless like you have this crazy
What
drive.
is his position?
But he's like a small forward still, like, and of
don't
course
know if
he
he
plays
got
a
it like
power
that.
forward. He's in today's NBA's power forward position, but like back in the day, he has like athleticism to be more of a wing player.
I don't know, dog.
But when I watched the Duke game, I was like watching like do a lot of like posting up and working in the box in the middle, and obviously stretching the floor with some of his jump shots too.
I don't know about this guy, dog. I'm just like, man, you look really big, and maybe he's used to playing at that weight, and I just don't know if it'll translate in the NBA like that.
Okay, you can be used to play well, but I think professionally it's a different investment when you're at the professional level, like losing weight in their diet programs. I think it might work out well for him.
Yeah, I mean,
they teach you how to lose weight, but then they also gain muscle and explosiveness, and I think he's gonna enjoy and feeling that. Like he's gonna feel that.
I don't know. I'm just wondering if
there's two things for me.
Okay,
two things for me.
I guess. All right.
I know. This is our terrible analysis, by the way.
Yeah, you're cutting off my great
If I was him,
this is already funny.
If I was him and I was trying to see who to model my game after at that size,
you Big Bam.
I pick Lamar Odom.
He's not like
I'd pick Lamar Odom. I pick Lamar because he's lefty. You gotta have that.
That's a totally because Lamar Odom was never big and chunky.
No, he wasn't.
He was skinny, got big and tall
and got strong. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a totally different guy. Lamar Odom was a point guard. Next, what was the other thing?
He could just be like Robert Tractor Trailer.
Oh, come on now.
R.I.P. by the way. I'm sorry.
Oh, he died?
He died, years ago.
Damn. Tractor Trailer
I only said that because, Charlotte Hornets and Pelicans just beat the Hornets. Yeah. So.
They don't got the Charlotte team now? Oh, it's Bobcats now.
Yeah. No, they got Charlotte Hornets back again.
Shut up.
Where have you been, dog?
It's
been years since they got rid of the Bobcats thing. That was gone a long time ago.
I'll be watching basketball.
Clearly.
But don't sleep on Lamar Odom, though.
I just think it's weird that this, what's his name? That one team has Bumble in their jersey. I'm like, what's going on here?
Who?
They got Bumble as their advertising sponsor. I forgot who. It might have been the Clippers.
This dude serious.
I think the Clippers got Bumble.
Probably Wichita State. You don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Wichita State definitely doesn't have... if college teams that advertise in jersey, I'm like, it's all over anyways.
Yeah, seriously. There were hella late stage capitalism.
Do you ever... One funny thing. Did you ever notice that like any player that has a team or like a brand tattooed on their body have to cover it?
No, I'm be watching dudes like that.
Isn't that wild, though?
You be really paying attention.
Isn't that wild, though?
You be paying attention to dudes hard, but...
That's so wild.
Anyway, Zion Williamson, I'm questioning his size. I never watched like a full game of his at Duke. I watched him play a little bit, and I see highlights. I'm not really in love with him as a player, but we'll see. Obviously, I could be wrong.
You know what I didn't see from him? I didn't see what would make him. I'll say this. I was wrong earlier about saying he's a wing player. You know why he's not a wing player? I remember right now.
I clowned you.
I didn't see him coming up the court with the ball and setting up a half-court offense and having one-on-one opportunities. He broke the first single to the basket. He started from the middle, working from the middle, and he extends the floor with range. Like that's fine.
You know what I thought.
You know what he needs to do though? He's getting like a really good 3-point shot. That's so important in NBA now.
Facts. You know what I thought? I'm like, at his size and his like what he's trying to do, could he go up against Greek Freak? I'm like, nah, Greek Freak will shut him down.
Greek Freak is really good.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously there's not a lot of players that's that good, but like you're gonna get shut down by him, Gasol.
It is really hard to go from being being a really, really big guy to being good NBA than this to being like skinny with the frame good NBA. It's like a different transition.
Yeah, because look at that dude that one guy, was it Trae Young or something like that? He's playing in Oklahoma and he's playing for the Hawks now. It took him some time to get acclimated, but like he's doing his thing a little bit.
Same thing, Greek Freak. I remember when they drafted Greek Freak, I was like, who the hell is this? And he was like some twig out there, and he got into the muscle program, got bulked up, and got
But like he's
even
not,
Lamar bulked up too.
Everybody
got bigger.
I don't call Zion fat, but he's chunky. You know what I'm saying?
He's big.
So
he's
it's
big kid.
So like I feel like it's more hard to
basketball player.
I feel like it's gonna be more hard to come off that weight. Like you might be used to playing like that with that weight, that bulk.
I agree.
And them dudes are strong in the NBA. Like you can come at them with that bulk, but they can handle that. You got to be able to use that strength and have speed.
Yeah, I agree.
Terrible
Terrible analysis. We got this though.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty good. But also, okay, the last thing I want to say about the NBA, Commissioner's name is the guy with the ears. I guess it's right here. Adam Silver. They're saying that they want to stop using the term owner in the NBA. They want to, they want to stop using that. Adam Silver was saying that it's a dated term, and he was saying that
Silver.
They were saying that the term owner is problematic because of his racial overtones.
Wow.
He was saying that I don't want to overreact to the term because, as I said earlier, people end up twisting themselves into knots of wanting to use the word owner. But we moved away from that term years ago in the league. He said we call our team owners governor of the team and alternate governor. I think it makes sense.
Governor is great because that's what they call prison awards.
In Australian shit. He said you'll find the word throughout memos over the past decade in the NBA. Past decade, I didn't know that. He said, but I'm sensitive to it, and I think to the extent teams are moving away from the term, we'll stick with using governor. The topic of owner being used in professional sports came up last year when NBA player Draymond Green talked about it on LeBron's show, The Shop. Mm-hmm. Green was saying that the term CEO or chairman should be used instead.
I agree.
But they were saying,
but chairman is a selected position.
Yeah, usually a different position.
And same thing with president and all that too.
And CEO sometimes. But I guess Snoop was saying that, who was also on the episode, he said he likes the term especially for himself because he's an owner in entertainment and business. Jon Stewart, I guess, disagreed with that. But I think Jon Stewart was saying when your product is purely the labor of people, then owner sounds like something that is of a futile nature. It's old world.
If you own, if you have a business, it's a little different. But when when
these dudes running up and down,
and majority of minority race, man.
I guess that Adam Silver was saying that players have gone both ways. He said, I think a few players have actually spoken out and said the greatest thing that ever happened was when Michael Jordan was able to call himself an owner.
He was. That was a big moment, honestly.
But
I thought that was cool when he got the Bobcats.
Yeah. He said, of course, Draymond Green has been very public about the fact that that we should be moving away from the term, and I completely respect that, Adam Silver said.
No, but notice how nobody said it was the best one was when Jay-Z was 2% owning the Nets. They were talking about Jordan instead.
Yeah. I just remember watching one of them NFL shows and watching. I forgot who it was, but it was I forgot what player it was, a former player, and he was referring to the owner of the team, and he literally almost said, "That's my owner." He was like, "That's my," he brought it back. But many times I've heard players in sports say, "My owner." I've heard that many times. We've talked about it on the podcast before. I think we talked about it when that dude from the Texans said that stuff. I forgot what episode that was.
It says prisoners
running the asylum or whatever. That terminology is terrible, and it's just so uncomfortable. And to hear players say "my owner," referring to the boss, this is oh god. I know where they're coming from, but it just sounds crazy. Yeah. Many times we've referred to professional sports as professional slavery. I'm not shy about that. I do not care. We can debate it all you want, but even Adam Silver is recognizing that to an extent when he's saying don't use the word owner. Yeah. Because it makes it sound more like slavery.
Please stop using that.
Yeah. So I think that's really dope. And I think the NFL should move away with it. They probably won't. But
they will.
Maybe at some point. But the players don't really have as much agency in the NFL.
No, but I think the players seem to have more say in things in the league too.
In NFL or NBA?
Yeah, NBA.
They have more. No, I'm saying...
NFL. No.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. They'll be like...
No,
crazy. Yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
They're behind masks.
You feel me? But anyway, that's episode 112. We made a podcast. Check us out on all social media.
Shout
Twitter,
out 112 Peaches and Cream.
You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you what I want to do. Wait, that's not Peaches and Cream? I don't know.
It is.
Wait, what's the one? I see you looking at me. I can tell in your eyes you can feel me. That's my joint. Dance with me.
Yeah.
My drop tops in the parking lot. I want to thank you. Okay, sorry. You know we gonna go crazy. Okay. Anyway, we made a podcast. I made a podcast on all social media.
Okay. You know what? Clap your hands.
Okay, man. Damn. Do-rag C's out here. We made a podcast on all social media. We made a podcast. Make sure you check out Tiki Talker Podcast and Joe Laguna. Make sure you check out Caesar on Fistic Arts Podcast with Jeff Wahl of Tiki Talker Podcast. Make sure you keep it locked and holler.
Good.